the next question that I wanted to ask you was, having now learned so much more about your ancestry, has that changed how you've looked at a lot of history? And even more, has that changed how, when you're doing certain episodes, how you kind of thought of things during your research?
You know what? The first thing that comes to mind is it. So, in the first thing that we ever worked together on, that you kind of told me was um, about the
The oysters.
oyster
Yeah.
planters in New York off Long Island that were my family. And I'm not a huge fan of oysters, especially raw oysters. I have a weird texture thing. And so when I was researching it, I was like, I feel like I should like oysters more than I do. It's in my blood, but it is clearly not. And that's why the recipe that I chose for that episode ended up being baked oysters, because I like them when they're baked because the flavor is fine. But the texture of a raw oyster. And I've tried multiple times. I just can't get it. But other than that, I have always, you know what it is? I've always imagined my family in different periods that I'm researching. It's like, I bet if my great great grandfather, or, somebody who I was related to, but it was all fictional in my head. I have no idea if whereas now I know that I had not one but two ancestors on the Mayflower. I believe we established.
I think so. At least one for sure.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert
the
for
famous
future
one. We won't
episodes.
we won't throw out, because that's a
But
really
yeah,
good story that's going to come up.
yeah.
But so I feel like now when I'm researching that time, it's like, oh, my people were there, and it's kind of weird because I have really nothing in common with that guy, especially when you learn what he did. I have nothing more in common with that guy than some other random person who lived in, Siam in the 17th century when it was still called Siam. Um, but for some reason, in my mind, we do make that connection. And I think that that's why Americans, especially, are like, I'm German, even though if they've never been to Germany, let
Yeah.
alone born there. It's because like we just have this like way of connecting with our own past, even if it's all in our head. And that's okay.